Others will greet you, good morning. Others say hi. Filipinos, we will say, kain tayo. And that's another way to understand how warm the Filipino culture is.
Thank you so much for joining us on So Jannelle.
Thank you for having me.
Guys, this is almost like a reunion because Miss Christine was my teacher when I was in high school. And look at her now. She looks younger than me.
Oh.
Anyway, so since then, you have opened your own tutorial center with the help of other partners.
YTC provides after-school support primarily for now K to 12. So they come to us to study like that. We also had reviews for entrance tests. So it increases their chances of getting into that particular university. We have always had Filipino as a subject, like in school. We realized there was a need for expats, for international staff who would like to adjust here. So one time, we had a call from the language club of ADB asking for a Filipino tutor. Actually, they call it Tagalog. They said, we need it for our international staff. And that was back in 2008. Since then, up to recently until the pandemic, I've been facilitating Filipino lessons for the international staff of ADB. And then once in a while, if they're inquiries about it, I also conduct it at the center.
When you say here, it's Philippines. So YTC, for the benefit of the viewers, it's based in the Philippines, but obviously because of digital, we're now all interconnected. We're now all going global. And when you mentioned, Christine, that this is also available now online and with Zoom interviews like this or apps like this, then you're also able to teach, kumbaga, right? To the
yes. We had the very recent one, it's just a few weeks ago. I had 2 international school students. They were already able to speak.
Right.
Bits and pieces, yeah. You just have, I think, to give them the confidence by laying down foundations. And somebody has to talk to them in Tagalog as well.
Right. And that's what I'm planning to do also with Lily and with my husband. He's not Filipino, so maybe they can go through this program together. But before that, Christine, I want you to differentiate because you were also correcting yourself. There's Tagalog. During my time, it was, I think, a mix of Tagalog and Filipino. What is the difference between Tagalog and Filipino?
Our national language in the Philippines is really Filipino. Majority of the words came from Tagalog. Tagalog is actually the basis of Filipino. The Filipino now that we talk about is, well, 2 things. But what they call us as a nation is also Filipino. Our language is also Filipino. There's this writer, he said just recently, the word Filipino is really a fusion of all our languages in the Philippines. As the Filipino language evolved, it's not really just Tagalog, but now it's all of the other languages from the different provinces like Kapampangan, you have Ilocano, you have Hiligaynon. All these are fused into what we now call our national language, which is Filipino.
I like that because when you learn about the culture, you know, there are some Filipinos that are outside of the Philippines. And I always say this in whether I'm given a chance to speak or in my spiels, you can take the Filipinos out of the Philippines, but never the Philippines out of the Filipinos.
Correct.
So, now, what are the advantages of learning about the culture by learning the language?
So you talk to people every day, you greet them, you sleep with them, you have coffee with them. So when you do that, how do you call what you eat? So you have to start with pagkain. So to understand Filipinos, why cannot Filipinos eat breakfast without rice? There's always rice and there's always bread. Why other people just eat cereal or drink coffee? Others say hi. Others will greet you, good morning. But Filipinos passing along the hallway will say, kain tayo, if they're eating. And that's another way to understand how warm the Filipino culture is. To be able to relate with the elders of your Filipino friends, like the parents of your friends, then you have to say, po, why do you add that syllable to do that? So you understand how respectful we could be and how we value relationships and how we value the family by the way we talk to them and the way we address them.
Yeah, I love that. Even with my husband, sometimes I explain to him, words here and there, and I know that you will touch on this in your program. The word mahal, mahal in in the Filipino language means two things that are totally different. Mahal is love, but also mahal is expensive. So
Yes.
when I tell my husband that, he's like, "Oh yeah, you're both." And so it just gets more interesting to really understand the language of Filipino. So go ahead, invite our viewers to check you guys out.
All the classes that we're offering now are beginners. One class would be for families. The demo class would be on September 4 and September 12, 5 p.m. your time there, PDT, via Zoom. Kindly visit our website, yourtutorialcenter.com/speakfilipino to be able to register so we can give you the schedule and the rest of the details.